and gentlemen of Soccer City. We are gathered here tonight on a Monday evening in Charlotte, North Carolina, God's country. Danny Brams, John Hayes, here to talk about Charlotte FC with a big win in the home opener. Johnny, how you doing on a Monday evening, sir?
I'm doing well. Cheers to you. What do you got there, Danny? It looks like a nice bourbon pour. It's like, that's a mixed drink too. Is that cherry in there?
Reserve with some orange bitters and 3 Maraschino cherries in it. You can see the 3 cherries. That's for 3 Charlotte FC goals, Johnny. Had a triple cherry. You know how we do. And first win of the season for the Crown, baby. The home dominance restored. Johnny, I was starting to panic. I'm not going to lie. After the first 2 matches, things look so bad against LA Galaxy, and then, you come out of it on balance. All of a sudden, you got 3 matches. You got 1 win, 1 draw, 1 loss. You got a little bit of everything. We're on the board everywhere, and the most recent one is the win. And, Johnny, we had such a great time on Saturday night. How are you feeling here now, 48 hours later, soaking it all in? Charlotte FC is the talk of the town.
I'm feeling great, and I'm so glad I got a chance to do this off the top of the show. Because music has always been a central theme of what we do. And I can't help myself but to say 1 win, 1 loss, 1 draw. Cheers to that.
Courtesy of John Lee Hooker. We love that. Let's go. George Thorogood and the Destroyers are absolutely loving it. I know I believe he's from up your country way in the Jersey, Pennsylvania area. So hope all is well. I like
how's that song? I'm going to answer your question. How does that song lyric actually go? 1 bourbon,
1 scotch, 1 bourbon, 1 beer. I think 1.
Yes,
scotch,
1 scotch, 1 bourbon, 1 beer. Yeah, what a great way to start the show.
And I like your hat, Johnny. I'm just going to call a little bit of attention to my own little. I'm wearing the Charlotte FC. I'm going to unbutton and unbutton. First,
wait a minute. You had that before they gave it away at the match on Saturday. You showed up to Hot Fly. You showed up to my house wearing that, and I was like, where the heck did you get that?
I love an exclusive, Johnny, and all I can say is Dino gave it to me. Dean gave it to me. That's your answer to the question. So I'm wearing it again tonight, and I got to tell you, I don't want to get. I miss maybe like giving the game away here a little too much. This shirt still stinks to high heaven, Johnny. I'm wearing this, and I'm like, why did I not wash this yesterday? It smells horrible, but I'm wearing it just for. I have taken it off and changed since I wore it to the game, but. I'm just going to keep drinking, Johnny. What did not stink was the performance. Life is good. The Tifos were all loving it, I hope. And we've got all kinds of goals to talk about. We got reaction. Dean Smith spoke. Morrison Ajaman spoke. Young Morrison, we might start to call him. And, of course, Pep Biel, the hero himself, had some words to say. Let me kick it off with just a little bit of a music video presentation that I put here together, Johnny. And I love to risk it. I don't think this one's going to get us kicked off. We'll see. But here's a little sampling of Dean Smith. And in honor of Austin FC being the opponent, we got some Stevie Ray Vaughan for the people.
Players stood up, showed their personalities a little bit more today, showed a lot more composure on the ball as well. After they sent it off, just took over the game and were patient enough to wait for the opportunities to happen. And, some good goals in there as well.
Zaha chopping it back with the left foot, across and tapped home. Cut back across the body. Vatok out of position, caught a bit flat-footed. But scooped back in it goes. Sabata turned home. Speaking of twinkle toes, here's Biel.
We just never got into races with people today. That was the biggest thing. We got into too many races last week and conceded goals because of it. We haven't shown what we can do, and we still haven't. There's still lots of things we can do better. I thought Liao was really good in the first half, 1v1 against their fullback. Produced some really good moments. Got his assist just before he came off as well, and that's what I was asking. I was asking, control your own performance first. That's what you're in charge of. Well, I've questioned individual performances for the first 2 games. I can't question today. I thought they showed great teamwork and togetherness today, and patience as well. And sometimes you have to have that. I think Austin are a good team. And they'll beat a lot of teams this season. So to be as composed as we was today, to have as much control as we had as well, was really pleasing. And the lads can take a lot of confidence from that.
Do you take a lot of confidence from it, Johnny?
Yeah, I certainly do. A ton of confidence. I'm excited to break down the game. We're live streaming, so let's clean up some things. First, we got to say hey to the chat. George, we've got some feedback about your mic. It says I try to turn you up on my side for what it's worth. It just says turn up your mic.
Okay, I'm on. You keep talking. I'll turn this up.
I did on my side. I think I can control your mic a little bit, but ultimately, the reason why I am excited to be here tonight is because of the vibes you just shared with that video.
Cool.
The vibes are here. The vibes are back. It really didn't feel like the Crown's season started until Saturday night. It was a really difficult road stretch to start the season, going to St. Louis, going to LA Galaxy. I think that's why having 4 points at this time, when you look at the way that the standings shape up, and I was doing that when I got home from the match, checked out all the other MLS scores on Saturday night, Danny. I looked at the scores Sunday as well, then looked at the table, and I said, damn, 4 points from those 3 matches? Pretty damn good. So the vibes are back, and now we're facing Leo Messi this weekend and Inter Miami at the Key.
Yeah.
So not only are the vibes back, but the anticipation, the excitement, the buildup is here for next weekend already. So, I mean, if you love soccer in this city, now's the time to enjoy the game that you love, because it's been it's a phenomenal time to be a soccer fan in Charlotte.
Yeah, and it felt pretty good. It felt like the season finally was back. We were back at home. Hopefully my mic issues have been sorted out. I just doubled the mic volume here in the settings. So please help keep me honest on that chat there. I appreciate it, John. Thanks for cleaning some things up. We've done the video present portion of the pod. We've gotten into the video sound element presentation part of the show.
It was phenomenal, by the way. Wow. I mean, you're reaching deep into your bag of tricks tonight, and I am here for it.
I mean, you like it? I mean, how do you feel about this graphic, Johnny? I'd like to hear from the chat as well. Again, please let me know if the mic is working, if it's better. But this is pretty nice, right? This is all the information you need from a great win.
You sound loud enough for me to hear. Maybe I'm just out my microphone, so I'll try to level us out. The graphic is phenomenal, and it's something that we love to do. We love to take a look at player ratings. We like to look at statistics, and it's something that helps us shape the conversation. And there's one thing you got to point out here, and it's very simple. Pep Biel. 2 goals, 8.0 rating, squarely right in the center, in the pockets for Dean Smith, playing that attacking midfield role and doing it gracefully. And I think ultimately when a player is feeling themselves, when K-Dog, he says what? When the vibes are vibey, then all of a sudden the players around you start to play better as well. Like, it becomes infectious, Danny. It's something that becomes contagious. Is that Pep Biel, when Pep wants to raise his play and he wants to play like that Spanish number 10, that creator, look what happens.
Yeah.
Toklomati has a good match. Zaha has a good match. Abada has a good match.
All because El Mago, the magician of Mecklenburg, as we like to call him.
Yes.
He's doing his tricks, and everybody around him is benefiting.
That's correct. That's exactly right. And actually Westwood as well, a really strong match. Good for him. He's off his illness. Had that illness out in Los Angeles. That's why I didn't start the match. Came in to kind of settle things down for Charlotte FC. I believe he played 45 minutes in that match at LA Galaxy. And ready for the full 90. Well, I guess not the full 90. He's taken out there.
He subbed out in extra time for a Dean Smith debut, as we like to call it. Young Aaron John got to make his debut at the end. Yeah, very cool.
You really love the dual first names. Let's start there. Aaron John. It's a great last name. And you're right. The 19-year-old gets a debut. So we're gonna allow the I guess what are the MLS referees called? What's their group called?
Pro ref.
Pro refs. I've been thinking about the PGMOL so much lately. I forget what the MLS crew is.
Yeah.
But the pro referees in MLS, we got to ask them, does this count as a full 90? I say put that in the statistic book as a full 90 for Ashley.
Yeah, I mean, he subbed out 90 plus what? So in my mind, he played 90 minutes.
That's right. That's phenomenal. What's your take on here, Danny? I think player ratings are interesting. I got to call those 2 things out to start. Expected goals, something else that jumps off the page.
Yeah, what jumps out at me, if you showed me this stat sheet, Johnny, like without having known anything else about the game, I would just say, wow, it looks like one team got a red card, right? I mean, the XG, Austin monitoring point, like people will have their own, varying takes on the value of XG as a stat, but when it's this lopsided and when it's 0.10 for Austin, you know that the dominance was true and well he felt. 0 saves for Christian Kalina after he's gone double-digit saves in the first 2 matches of the season. 12 corner kicks, almost 3 times as many passes as the opposition. This thing was a rout, Johnny, and it came because of the red card. Obviously, the red card is a big deal, and it's a big part of it. And
you mentioned
a
it
little bit here, and it's nice to see Charlotte FC finally just punish a team for doing something like this, though, because there's been times where we've played 11 against 10 and struggled, and you've heard the Dean Smith, sometimes it's harder to play against 10, that we all hate to hear. In this case, Charlotte FC really pounced on this opportunity.
They did, and that's what you have to do. And while the statistics are leave that freeze frame, leave that freeze frame there for a second.
Yeah, I will. There's no reason to take it down. Why
not? Because that's I think how everybody felt. That's a fan of Austin. That's a fan of the Verde. Mm-hmm. That I do think that this red card was unlucky, very unlucky, and that's the face of that. That's a face of an unlucky man, right? This is a clear yellow card. He's dragging him down. He accidentally steps on the back of his Achilles there, on the back of his calf with the studs. And when the studs make contact above the ankle with any type of force, it's going to bring out a red card, especially in the VAR era. There it is. You can see the stomp right there on the back of the Achilles. And I don't think that's intentional foul play.
Right.
But
and that's
when
why
you
he's so up in arms about it.
That's right. But when you start adding up, when you start adding up the ingredients that led to the red, I think the entire motion, I think the entire action is a red card.
Sure.
I think that's what I would say. I would say it's the stomp on the Achilles is what sealed the deal, because it wasn't a football play. He made no effort on the ball throughout the entire foul, and it ended up with studs on the Achilles. So he's shown red. And he's set off. I think I think the red card is unlucky but fair.
Yeah, and he's also dragging him down by the arm. That can't help his cause.
That's right. That's where it all started. So, yeah. That's where the crime began. We're pretty good detectives on this show. Every now and again.
Exactly. Yeah. We once convicted Christian Latanzio of murdering Charlotte FC's season through a process of elimination. A Benoit Blanc-esque run through of all the potential suspects. Actually, it was great.
Yes.
But the red card changed it. And so we bring up those stats. And now, Johnny, we're going to hit him with another graphic. If you liked the first graphic, don't worry. It's not the only one. How about some attacker ratings? Can I interest you in some attacker ratings and just some sort of, here's how the guys looked. Zaha not really scoring points for his shooting there with the big red bar. He had a couple chances. This is another night where it could have been 6 or 7, really. If Pep hit the crossbar, there was a goal ruled off for handball that we'll look at. And just... you would have thought that Zaha would get a goal here, but he still had a pretty good game. For a 7.6 rating with some of the big chances missed that he had is pretty nice. Pep Biel, obviously, just absolutely dominant. Liel Abada, a good game. You heard Dean Smith shout him out, and we can talk more about that. Dean's had other good words for Liel. And then Toklomati had the goal. It's a beautiful... You love to see this. And look at all those passes on the passing charts for the guys on the wings.
Man, this is another phenomenal graphic for the show for many different reasons. First of all, there's like a million things you could talk about on here. Right. So where do I even start? Secondly, it puts into perspective like kind of what Charlotte FC's attacking threat is this year in MLS. And when you look at this, you're like, damn, it's pretty good. This is a more than formidable front four in MLS. What does the ceiling look like? The whole team now comes into play when we're discussing that bench, midfield, defensive midfield, and back line. So I'm not going to go there with this, Danny. But what I'm going to say is, I find it. I'm looking at these passing statistics. I find it very interesting that Pep's passes are not going to Zaha. on the left,
right?
on the left of the pitch. And I find that to be very interesting because I think ultimately what you're seeing is what the buildup looked like for the club. Everything is building up down the left-hand side for Charlotte FC here. I think you're seeing a lot of passes to Zaha on the left-hand side, and he's holding onto the ball, he's dribbling it forward, he's able to create down that left-hand side. Then ultimately, when Pep finally receives that ball in the middle of the pitch, he's going to either kick it out wide and switch fields out to Leal, try to catch him on the back post. Like, this to me illustrates what Charlotte FC's tactics were offensively on Saturday night.
Yeah, it's kind of like puzzle pieces and if you can like overlay those three charts of Zaha, Biel, and Abada, their passing charts on top of each other, then it would sort of show you how the ball is moving. And then Idan, we don't see his passing chart, but we just see, 3 shots from Idan there, all with almost, within, all inside the 18, 1 inside the 6. And it's a beautiful thing. Speaking of Idan Toklomati, I mean, let's just go ahead and show, right? We love Idan. Let's check out another goal. And this is beautiful. This is shortly after the red card. This is after a reset of play off a set piece. Austin defended it, but then it comes back to Wilf, and he finds Idan crossing across. It's just it was a beautiful thing. It was a moment of magic.
It was, and Jorge's right, by the way. The ceiling is the roof. Being that we are in North Carolina, we have to address that now famous phrase Michael Jordan said in Chapel Hill. But look at this: the chop back to the left foot, squarely across, and Toklomati there on the back post, ready for a one-touch finish. That's the type of action that this team needs to see in the box. And that, I think, is the most exciting thing, is that, yes, the red card, you can see that Austin has already had the red card here, but you have to then execute in the opponent's final third. Mm-hmm. And this club did that. You saw Zaha very confident on the ball, Danny, and you saw Toklomati in what was a poacher's goal scoring position. And if Toklo wants to, if he wants to be a poacher this season, being on the other side of those Zaha crosses is a very good idea.
Yeah, it's really great to see Idan just open his account on the season and get into the goals. Sadly, I don't think Wilf is going to get an assist there. And just so anyone, I really appreciate the feedback. I'm like leaning into my mic, so hopefully everybody can hear me a little bit better. I'm eating the mic now. I'm going to work on this.
Yeah, you know what I would do, Danny? We're in this business. We've been in this business. I know,
that's why
time.
I feel so bad. Trust me.
No. The mic fundamentals. I always tell some people that I work with that are working with microphones for the first time is like, be friendly with it.
Yeah. I'm just gonna do what you do. I'm just gonna hold it in my hand like you.
Be friendly with it. Don't be afraid to give it a smooch. Do you see that? Did you ever see the way that there's this account on Instagram that I really like? It's this woman that does match reports at English Championship football matches for the BBC.
I love it.
And she, sets her phone up like right on the table so she can record herself giving the match report, and she pipes the audio in to the reel. It's like one of those microphones. Maybe I go this way. Mm-hmm. That you hold like this. And it's really a cool Instagram page because you hear the host. Now let's go out to Derby County where so and so is standing by, and she's like, and she gives that classic radio report, like how you would for this match. It's like, it's Charlotte FC 3, Austin FC 1. It's a red card early in the match, just like a really high pace.
A brace from Biel follows up on an opener from Toklomati, and an own goal from the youngster Morrison Ajamon can't help but hurt the Crown's cause in an effort to start their season and kick off the campaign with 3 points. Something like that? Is that what you're envisioning?
Yes. I think that's why we work well together. I can envision it, but you, sir, you have the ability to pull it off. That was great. Right. Exactly. The Brits get very, very not intimate, but they get very close to their microphones.
All right, I'm going to work on it. I'm working on it. I'm going to try to be like Idan and be like Pep, John, because Pep Biel's brace, we've already talked about him a little bit. We can talk about him more. There he is, just in the spot, getting the assist from Abada. We know K-Dog's happy to see Abada getting on the score sheet. All the DPs contributing. Wilf, Biel, Abada contributing, and then there's Luca De La Torre subbing in and having a nice little twizzle toes moment before he feeds it over to Pep for the brace. Just weaving his way in traffic, Pep firing. It was firing on all cylinders, Johnny. And this is late in the match when they're just scoring for fun, as they say.
Exactly. That scoring for fun, feeling confident. And again, let's go back to the vibes. Like from kickoff in the building, you could tell something was special. And you love to see Liel Abada there contributing, and Luca De La Torre as well. Now would be a good time maybe to discuss those two, Danny. We just saw both assists, right? Who got assists in this? Luca is somebody that I'm like, I need to see something.
Yeah,
that was something. Liel Abada, you need to see something. Well, that was something. Starting to feel better about these two players?
Yeah, we talked about the saying used to be Pep and Pat in the pockets, right? Yes. We're searching for Pep and Pat in the pockets. Now we're looking for Luca and Liel to be limitless. I think is the next is the new move. We're going to change the letter, but we're going to keep.
Who was in that movie? Was that Bradley Cooper?
Was Bradley Cooper? Yeah, Bradley Cooper. Limitless, of course. Yeah,
crazy movie, a weird movie.
Off the pill. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I like Luca's assist better just for the fancy footwork. Liel, I think, was just kind of doing a little bit of a spray and pray, as they say in the business, where he just kind of like shot it into an area and hoped Pep would be there, and it worked out. Whereas Lucas was a little more intentional, but they're both nice, and I have no shade on what Abada was able to pull off in this match whatsoever. He played really well. We saw his rating was nice when we saw that sheet.
I'm looking at the comments. We can throw them back on stage. Look at this one from our friend Matt Geslin. He says Luca will be FC's MVP by end of year.
Okay. Okay.
It's squarely in the category of a Geslin take. How do you react to this one?
It's a great take from Geslin because it makes you have to react. The one thing about a Matt Geslin take is that you simply must react when he puts it out there. So for better or for worse, I think that's that's the essence of a good take. So I don't necessarily agree with it. I think Toklomati, Biel, Zaha, Kalina will all finish ahead of Luca De La Torre on the club MVP list at the end of the year, if not maybe one or two others. But I do like the signing. I'm happy. There were people saying that, after two matches, Luca is dropped from the starting 11, and people are starting to call him Eric Williamson Part 2, and then all of a sudden he comes in and does some fancy dribbling for 20 minutes and gets an assist at the end of a rout against 10 men, and all of a sudden he's the next he's the future MVP. I'm not so sure about that. I do want to get your thoughts, Johnny, but while we're on this topic, here's why Dean started Bronico over Luca De La Torre in this match. And then we can talk about the midfield and where it goes from here and how it looks best in certain matchups.
Yeah, I don't like the word drop. I never drop players. I spoke with Luki, yesterday about the reasons why I was going with it. I felt that we needed probably BB's forward runs. He can actually upset their back four at times. Pep tends to drift onto the right-hand side. And we just felt it was going to be better, in the game for that. But, Luca came on. I thought he did really well and made some really good forward runs. Had two or three shots as well. So I was pleased with both of them.
Classic Dean. He's just going to say, I made the decision because I liked the matchup. He never really blames the player. He even defended Andrew Privet. We'll talk about that in a minute. But props to you, John. Your eyes are clearly working. You got a manager's eye. You've been noting how Pep drifts off to the right. Dean mentions it there in the soundbite. And Broncos did set a tone. Again, it's tough to say in this match because we're going against 10 men. And by the end of it, Austin showed some fight early on. But once they went down, and they only scored via an own goal that we'll talk about in a second, but they never really offered anything. And I think at the end of the match, it was kind of like we were just like beating up a sort of a tired opponent that just wanted to go home. So I don't rate those final 20 minutes as some like extreme sign of quality. And I really liked the way Bronico was able to set the tone, like Dean was saying early on.
I liked what he said at the end there. Did you hear he made a note about how he really liked Luca's forward runs?
Yes, and shots, yeah.
Right. So if I were to take a deep dive into this, what I would tell you is Dean basically said, hey, you see what Brandt's doing? Do that.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we need from you.
This is one of those situations, how sometimes people will say, you know, when you've got a player who has quality, but they're not doing what you want to do, you pull them off the bench, you put the guy behind them in the starting lineup, and you say, hey, watch what he's doing. I know you have the talent and the ability, but you're not doing the right things. Just do what this guy's doing. Is that what you're seeing, the way you're seeing it play out?
Yeah, absolutely. And Brand's such a good teammate and he's fit and able to do it. Then he's gonna put on the fitness display. He's gonna kind of set the bar and say, "What do you got? Bring it to training. I'm ready to run." And when you're going to be playing this position between Pep Biel and Ashley Westwood, that means that you're playing box to box. That's the option.
Right.
That's the option. There's no other option at that position. If Ashley Westwood and Pep Biel are on the pitch and you're going to be the third midfielder, you got to go box to box.
Yeah, and you like Westwood is going to try to play box to box, but you got to be. He's not going to offer as much in the attack as we want that Luca Della Torre / Bronico role to offer. I thought it was good. I like Luca. I've never thought that Luca was. It did kind of once I started hearing people say the Luca's the next Williamson. Luca's just Williamson 2.0. Williamson 2.0. Sorry Eric Williamson, but you just didn't have a very good run here. It made me realize that it's actually kind of interesting because I had not seen it in those terms before. But it's kind of like Dean and Zorn and all the front office and the scouting team said, hey, we need someone who does this. And we went out and we tried to get Eric Williamson to be that number 8 to sort of, be a glue transitional player that helps the midfield connect defense to offense. And Williamson didn't do it, but they didn't give up on the plan. They just went and got a better version of the guy that they were trying to get. So credit to the whole try again mentality from the front office and the coaching staff. I hadn't really seen it in those terms until Luca sort of had a little bit of a slow start, but I think he's the guy that hopefully will show us more of that in the future. And we got Miami coming up, John. This is not necessarily a preview episode, but it gets a lot tougher. Miami is going to be a lot tougher cookie to deal with than Austin FC was. And so I like the chance of Luca to get back and feature. However, when I think about previous matches, Charlotte FC against Miami, it's the Marvel Avengers thing. It's like, we have a Hulk, we have a Bronico. Like when you need to stop Leo Messi, no one has been better at the league in the last 2 years of pocket, putting Leo Messi in his pocket. I say that very sarcastic because nobody does that. But Brand Bronico has pretty good results when he's on the field against Leo Messi. So I expect to probably see that again on Saturday. All told, I'm still happy Luca's part of this club.
Here's my prediction. Bronico starts on Saturday against Inter, and Luca starts the next Saturday against Red Bulls. That's my prediction. And I also want to answer this question from Jorge in the chat. What's up, Jorge? I only want to call this out, not because he asked me a question, because it is kind of newsworthy. Jorge's all over it. Talking about coaching and what Dean's doing. I saw today he said that he was going to hire a set piece coach, and I got to say I'm getting kind of nervous about this.
as a Tottenham fan, or what?
As a football fan in general.
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody needs a set piece coach. That's correct, but we've got a lot more to work on than set pieces right now. I think let's get our offensive attack together. Let's make sure that this team can play an open play, and then we'll worry about long throw-ins after that.
Yeah, especially because we scored off of set pieces. That Pep Biel, this first Pep Biel goal came, off of a set piece kick over the top to Liel, who cut it back. The first Idan Toklomati goal was a reset off of a corner kick that they booted out, and we got the second ball and pressed it back on a re-attack. So we're actually doing pretty good on set pieces, if you ask me. I didn't like to see so many short corners. I'm not a short corner fan, and they were taking a lot of short corners on Saturday night, which I don't necessarily love, but I do think you should put in your application.
No, I'm not going to put in my application for that job. That's what I'm saying. I think we got to talk to whoever's working in HR over at TSE and take that job posting down. Let's just put it off until Q3. Let's start.
Okay. It's like going to war in a foreign country and then hosting a meeting to save college sports. In the middle of it or something like that. We're worried about set pieces when we should be worried about scoring goals and preventing goals. I see where your head's at there, Johnny. Talking about preventing goals, Charlotte FC, this was the funniest joke I saw, John, on the aftermath on social media and after a big win was Charlotte FC fans thought they were done watching Ajimong score goals at Bank of America Stadium. And no, we were not, because it was a beautiful header from Morrison Ajimong right into the lower right corner. Beat the keeper, never had a shot at it. I don't have a B-roll clip of that cut for some strange, obscure reason, but I do have sound about from Morrison and Dean on Morrison's debut and the own goal and all of it. Let's listen to that and then get your reaction, Johnny.
First of all, thanks to my coaches and my teammates as well, and the fans in the whole, did a great job for me, coming here. And it was my first game, a lot of pressure, but I kept it cool,
But Morrison came in, and I just felt that he could handle the occasion. Pribs has, been under a bit of pressure because of the mistake he made last week, and I felt that was a little bit unfair. But Morrison, got the nod ahead of him. And yes, and he scored the own goal, and I thought he showed great composure to handle that, because some people can sink very quickly if that happens. He had the personality to deal with it and dealt with it really well.
It was basically lack of communication, I think, first of all. So, on the training grounds, we're trying to, improve more, to avoid this kind of mistakes. Oh, I had my teammates, saying a whole lot, words of motivation to me, and it was, really encouraging me, and then it kept me going, through the game. So, and I didn't need to give up. It's a mistake. It's passing gone. So, what can I do? I just need to keep pushing, keep going. Yeah.
We all make mistakes, Johnny.
I usually don't comment on drip, but I was really into that 90s high school football jersey vibes.
Yeah.
That Morrison was rocking afterwards. 90s '90s nostalgia is really in right now. But hey, it's a mistake, and he bounces back from the mistake. What's really interesting, right, is that Dean talked about two big mistakes, right? Think about it like this. Both Andrew Privet and Morrison Hajimong have made big mistakes this season so far.
Right.
So when you're comparing the two, don't get it twisted, okay? Andrew Privet made a bad mistake, and so did Morrison Hajimong. That doesn't mean that this center back battle, if you will, this competition for the number 2 center back next to Tim Ream is over. I think ultimately these two players are going head-to-head in practice, and both of them have the opportunity to start every match, depending how the week goes. I think Morrison has the potential to be rewarded. I think that he brings more athleticism. I think that he is a physical specimen. My former colleague Bruce Feldman, who writes for The Athletic, every single year he writes a article called the Freaks List in college football. And it's a term of endearment in sports. And I think it applies to this situation. Morrison Hajimong is a freak. He's a freak athlete, and having him in the side is a major boom. But we're going to see some mental mistakes. We're going to see some communication mistakes. And Andrew Privet and Morrison Hajimong could end up being a really nice 1-2 punch, playing off of each other, sharing minutes at that center back position, also making each other better through competition.
Yeah, I'll go even further, John. I'm worried about Andrew Privet. I'm worried about his ability to win this battle, to be honest, because Morrison Hajimong does really show all the signs. Jorge Torres is in the chat. He's one of our favorite tifos. Obviously, we love all our tifos equally, just like all your family members. But
hey, Bridget, thanks. Bridget's hanging in the chat as well, I believe, right? NC Tiger Girl.
Yeah.
Yep. So I saw Bridget at halftime on Saturday. It's been a while, so shout out to you, Bridget. Thanks for hanging as well.
Yeah, thank you, Bridget, for being here. Bridget went into enemy territory. She's one of the hosts of the Queen's Pitch podcast, and she guested on an Austin podcast earlier this week before the game and went and told them that we were going to beat their asses, so it was pretty good. I mentioned Jorge because he's as another content creator here in the Charlotte FC space, and I mentioned him because we're going to get another look at that drip, and it's beautiful. This is a closer look at what Morrison was wearing in his post-game interview. It's since the chat liked it, I figured I'd bring it up. Hopefully, courtesy of Jorge here and the Soccer Sheet crew. We love it. It's a pretty good look. It looks. This guy better with the ripped jeans.
This guy belongs in Varsity Blues. This is an absolute high school football drama look. pure Americana
Yeah.
here. This is something I'd see in West Texas in 1998. And
Yeah.
sign me up for that.
100%.
What
The
is it?
ripped jeans
East.
are great.
It's like East Permian. What's the what?
Odessa Permian. Yeah. Odessa
Odessa.
Permian versus Midland Lee. Yeah. Friday Night Lights, exactly. It's a beautiful thing. And, he looks good. He looks confident. He looks unbothered, John. He looks like he he shook off the mistake really well, and it's a beautiful thing to see. You heard Dean's great comments about him. I got to say, he looks the part. He looks like a guy who could slot in and just really develop and lock that role down. I got to say.
Greg Franco, he says, we all know who your favorite tifo is. I thought for a second, who is it? And I was like, it's got to be Greg. I think he's talking
about himself. He's got to be talking about himself. How about Jorge backs up your he went with a slightly different, late 90s, early 2000s high school football movie, Remember the Titans. But yeah, same vibe for sure.
Strong side.
Strong left side, strong side, left side, strong side. Here are the ratings. I popped these up earlier while you were waxing philosophical, but now maybe you can just speak directly about the entire back line. Backline has been an issue. We've had backline issues, but today was pretty nice. It's easier to defend against 10 men. It may be harder to break down 10 men, as Dean and Wes would like to try to convince us, but it's a lot easier to defend against them. That's for sure.
Let's talk about Harry Toffolo. He finally had a match where I understood what everyone was talking about.
Okay.
Here's the caveat. It was against 10 men.
Yeah.
So overall, I think I finally am starting to get more clarity about Harry Toffolo, what he brings to the table. He was very good in the final third.
Yeah.
He wants to go forward. He wants to be somebody that is attacking at this stage in his career. I don't think that Harry Toffolo came into this league thinking that he was going to be like defending in a back five, parking the bus,
right,
and grinding to 0-0.
He knew he wasn't. Yeah, for sure. He would not have signed the contract unless Dean assured him that was not going to be the case.
Right. So I think now we've got some more context about what he brings to the table and in what situations he can really make an impact. When this team when we've battened down the hatches and we are just taking on attack after attack after attack, maybe Toffolo is not the best guy for that. But if Charlotte FC has some spunk, has some spirit, is in possession, is going forward, controlling the game, Harry Toffolo brings a lot of skill, a lot of talent, and a lot of class to the table in order to get that finish. So I feel like I finally kind of know who this guy is after watching him against 10 men. That's the problem, right?
Yeah,
I need to see.
right.
We need to see it against
with a grain of salt.
I need to see it against 11. If he can do it against 11, then he might be one of the better attacking fullbacks in the league.
If he can do it against Rodrigo DePaul next week, and like these elite players who he's gonna see coming down the wings, he sure as hell didn't do it against Gabriel Peck, who, by the way, did you notice? I don't know if you saw this when you were looking at the others. Peck got a red card against the LA Galaxy, and they shipped 4 goals to Colorado Rapids and lost after scoring 3 against us. So good riddance to bad rubbish on them. But
do you know why I saw that?
Dude.
Oh, you asked. You know why I saw that? Is because the Rapids coach is a former Ange Postecoglou assistant.
He's a big Ange disciple, baby. I mean, aren't we all? Yeah.
I believe he either way, he was at Spurs.
Okay.
And he did play for Spurs. And he's been part of the organization for a while. So long story short, I don't he was exactly right. He was confirmed as the acting assistant head coach at Spurs in April 2023. He was an assistant to Ange Postecoglou and a senior assistant coach, and ultimately won the Europa with Ange.
And now he's in Colorado.
And the reason why I know why he's doing such a good job at Colorado in the final of this game, long story short, Danny, is because all the Spurs fans are like, what the? did we make a mistake? Was the next guy kind of always there working at the club, a former player, and a Wales international? So I just want to, I know you mentioned, that because of Galaxy, but there's a storyline happening with the Rapids and this coach Matt Wells that I'm really interested in.
I love it. I'd love to see him do some things in the West. I can't wait to play against them in MLS Cup final this year. Because we don't see him in the regular season. I do think that Toffolo the Buffalo is a good dude. It's so funny because Byrne on the right. They're both like bombing forward fullbacks, but Byrne is like a speed demon, whereas Toffolo's not going to ever trick anyone into thinking he's a speed demon, but he does love to go forward. So, Johnny, I want to talk about another point of controversy in the match because I know you love the controversy, and I'm surprised it took me this long to get here, but as great as it was to see Pep Biel's brace, he could have had a hat trick. There was a beautiful thing that happened before he scored his actual second goal. He had a second goal that was taken away. Here's a little bit of soundbite perspective on the whole thing, and then we can talk about it.
I think it's very important. It's very important always win at home. So now we just keep working to win again.
Pep was excellent tonight. He's energetic. He's one who's got high ceiling technical skills, and you saw that all today. And when he's on it, he's very difficult to play against. And tonight he was on it. And
I'm very happy for the 2 goals. It's true that the third one is almost there, but no, actually I saw that touching someone, but I didn't know who, so I didn't see it again, so I don't know how it was.
No. If the game's gone, if we're disallowing goals for that, the game's gone. I mean, the VAR guy must have a major in physics, because I haven't seen any deviation. I haven't seen, if we're ruling goals out for that, then we should get rid of VAR, because that nobody wants to see that disallowed.
Johnny and Dino, get rid of VAR. Who would have thought that you would be kindred spirits in such a noble cause? Congratulations.
That is, I'm telling you, man, the commitment to the bit for Dean is truly Oscar. Oh, isn't it? It's Oscar season, Danny.
Yeah.
It's Oscar worthy.
Nominate his ass. Yeah,
I mean, he is nominated for Best Actor because his bit about the referees, he never breaks character. It's a home opener, a 3-1 win. The vibes are absolutely immaculate, and he puts on one of his best performances of the year.
And he's in here in the postgame saying the game is gone.
It's incredible. I mean, he's perfect in that way because this is real. This is something that we've covered. This is not a one-off. This is not an outlier. It's going to happen against Inter. It's going to happen against Red Bulls. We're going to continue to talk about the referees. And for what it's worth, I think most of the times he's within the stratosphere of being right.
No, he's not wrong. No one ever said he was wrong, John. I mean, look at it. I mean, the deflection actually increased the chances that the goalkeeper could save it. The deflection brought it closer to the keeper. Brandt's arm is tucked into his body. There's not even room for the Holy Spirit in there. You can barely see it. They looked at this. This is a short, cut-down version of the clip. They looked at this for 10 minutes before they ruled it off. I couldn't believe this one, Johnny. And this was actually when it was still 1-1. We actually needed this goal. Thank God they did romp at the end. But, the game's gone. If this doesn't count, Johnny, the game's gone. And, again, it's from a set piece, by the way.
So we were tasked with getting some new fans into the stadium and welcoming some new people to the club and bringing them to a match for the first time. And we did that. And I got a text afterwards, Danny, that said, "Thanks again. Great seats, fun atmosphere." And I said, "Let's go. Welcome to the club. We always win at home, just so you know." And he goes, "Fun game, some brutal no calls by the officials throughout the night, in my opinion. But the environment was great, as was the win." And I said, "Welcome to MLS and Charlotte FC, because one thing that's always consistent is these refs being bad and Dean Smith bitching about the refs. So you're welcome to the club. You're in."
People are like, oh, who's our biggest rival? Is it Atlanta? Is it Nashville? Is it Red Bulls? No, the biggest rival is Dean Smith versus MLS pro referees. That's the biggest rivalry we have in Charlotte. You know, every day's a derby day when Dean Smith is your manager and the refs are acting this incompetent, for sure.
Football edits, P5J. I don't know who that is in the chat. I don't know if we've met in person, but just dropped in, says I'm going to the Red Bull game on the 21st. So I'm excited. So cheers to that. It's great. It's a great opportunity, Danny, for these next 4 weeks, right? 5 matches at home in a row. Is that the
Yeah. Well, this was one of 5. This was the first of 5.
Right. So 5 matches, consecutive matches at home, a lot of people getting in there. And whether that hit Brant's arm or not, I don't think that's the point. Overall, and you set me up for this, and I apologize it took me this long to get here, is yes, I think that we have a major issue with VAR, not just in MLS, but across the board, especially in the English Premier League. And the reason why is because referees are second guessing themselves. It's like always doing your job. It's like doing your job with your boss always consistently looking over your shoulder. You start to lose a little bit of confidence. You start to make decisions knowing, well, the guy's looking over my shoulder, so maybe if he sees that I make a mistake, he'll cover it up. And all of a sudden, you start thinking for yourself, and you start leaning on these slow-mo replays, these little drawings. I've seen the updated VAR technology, Danny, where somebody's offside by their nose.
Yeah, that was wild this weekend. Yeah. So
like, I'm just like, what are we doing? I don't think it's less to me about the technology and more about the emotional impact of referees always having the eye in the sky and always knowing that every decision that they make, they can take the easy way out because somebody else is looking over their shoulder.
Yeah, and go frame by frame. And the 2 words that need to be brought up and just harped on over and over again when we're having this discussion, Johnny, is clear and obvious. If something's not clear and obvious, if you need to look at it frame by frame over the course of like 5 actual minutes, then that's not clear and obvious. So as soon as you've established the standard that nothing is clear and obvious in this replay without going frame by frame, then you automatically should just revert to the ruling on the field.
Right.
It's you don't have a clear and obvious reason to overrule. It's easy.
Like a gray area. If there's a gray area, what you can do, Danny, is if there's a gray area, you can just live in it.
Yeah.
You don't got to pick a side. That's the whole point.
Right.
Gray area. It doesn't. Just kind of hang out there and
embrace the draw. Embrace the draw. You got to embrace the draw. Exactly. I got one more thing I want to tee up here, Johnny, because this is
time out. For what it's worth, if you're watching on YouTube, if you're listening on the podcast feed, what I'm seeing in the chat is we might have gotten taken down. And I just wanted to call this out. It's pretty good. I appreciate K-Dog saying, like, we were like really talking shit on the referees when we got taken down. So I don't think that's what happened, but the timing's interesting.
MLS got us. Here's the deal. I'm not worried about it. All of these highlights were taken from already published MLS packages, and I have full faith that this entire stream will be restored. I apologize to those who might have just gotten kicked off on the live, but the whole stream will be on the YouTube later, as well as the audio-only channels. So I thank you guys for sticking with us. I'm so sorry here. Lad on fire.
No, we're coming back. We're coming back. Trust me, we're getting back.
We'll get it back. As people start to come back, Johnny, I just want to talk about one. There's one man we really need to focus on. Well, we've got some time here. We're having fun. I'm not in a hurry to get anywhere. I don't know if you are, but the man of the moment, the man who's always going to be at the top of the discussion page for Charlotte FC. We're back. It looks like K-Dog says we're back. See, we just
back.
You know, they can always. They're just checking up on us. They're just like,
you know what happened?
Wait a minute.
You know what happened? Our live stream went to VAR.
Yes, exactly.
No penalty. No penalty. We're back. We're on the pitch.
Thanks for sticking with us. Okay, so I'll quit filibustering then, and I'll get to the final thing I wanted to do here, which was one more soundbite I cut from Dino's post-game comments. Because I don't know if you saw this, Johnny. There was a moment. It was kind of a minor moment. We're talking about Zaha. I was setting everything up for a big Zaha. Let's cap this episode off with a Zaha discussion, because I personally am starting to get a little bit of a feeling that we're gonna might maybe get some news on Zaha later this week. We'll have to see, but. He had the pseudo assist to Idan that got deflected, so he didn't get counted for. He had a bunch of shots that should have been closer to the target. He had some big chances missed in this game. But he also had a moment where he was kind of the Austin bench kind of got into it with Zaha, and we've seen him do that against the New England bench before. It didn't really. Zaha was yellow carded for yelling at the Austin FC bench kind of early in the match, and he was able to play them with the yellow card. Dean was asked about that after the match, and again, there's not really a lot to go with. There's not even video to show you, and I'm scared to put any more video from the game on the screen or anyway because of we just got booted. But listen to this, and then I'm going to tell you. You talked about 90. This gave me my own little bit of 90s nostalgia, which you had referenced earlier.
Yeah, I was telling their bench to get back in their technical area because that's what a technical area is for. So just asking them to go and stand in their technical area, and I don't know why they wanted to get involved with Wilf and talk to Wilf. One of their staff wanted to speak to him about something. I mean, Wilf don't know him, so leave him.
He's trying to talk to Wilf. Wilf don't know him. Wilf don't know him. And it reminded me of, it just made me think of, this is going to show my age probably. I don't know how, I need to hear from the chat if they even get this reference, but Mariah Carey, when she was asked about J-Lo, she said, I don't know her. I don't know her. So, Wilf, the Austin bench is trying to talk to Wilf. Wilf doesn't know you, Austin. Just fly back to Texas because he does not know you. It's Wilfried Zaha, dude. He has no freaking clue who you are. And if it takes a yellow card for him to prove the point that he does not know you, then that's what it's going to take. But he's our diva. Wilfried Zaha is our diva, and he does not know you, Austin FC, I promise.
I actually had a great seat for this interaction.
Great.
And as you know, this is something that I'm paying very much attention to. I see something happen out of the corner of my eyes. I see an Austin coach come way out of his technical area, get right on the sideline of the pitch, and is running his mouth in a way that is completely unprofessional. Actually should have been a red card, in my opinion. Yeah. He should have been sent to the locker room and been told, sit the fuck down. Like, you're not even the manager for this team.
Right.
If you want, if somebody has any leeway whatsoever to act that way, it's the manager. Right. Nobody on the staff, no assistant manager has the right to come out to the touchline, out of the technical area, and start chirping at a player from another team. To me, it was completely unprofessional. And when the yellow card came over and was shown to the bench, I said to the round, I said, oh, you don't see what happened there? Yeah, that assistant coach just came out of freaking nowhere and basically runs onto the field and starts getting in Zaha's face. I thought it was strange. Strange move. And you can just see, like, the emotions are high in these matches. And Jorge, another great message in the chat. He says, Wilf is another example of emotions. 3 yellow cards in 3 games for Wilfried Zaha.
Yeah, that's not good.
2 more and he's suspended. I know what it's like for a player to just continually rack up cards. And it's fun in theory until that player is suspended for a while.
Yeah, exactly. They're not going to get, he's not taking shit from anybody, and then he misses a game, or God forbid a playoff game with a red card. My only message to that Austin FC coach, John, who you saw acting a fool, is I don't know him.
I don't know her.
I don't know him. I don't know who that guy is, but I don't want to know. I have zero interest in knowing who he is. I hope he takes his yellow card and sits on it on the plane all the way home. But Zaha is coming up. The thing I was hinting at earlier, Johnny, is I have a feeling I want to bring up some quotes from earlier in the week. This is pregame, but I'm sure everyone saw these quotes. How Zoran Krneta spoke early last week. And he kind of put his foot in his mouth with I'm waiting for Wilf to score goals and assists. And then everyone was like, well, he's actually the only one who has an assist. And he's like, oh, well, what I meant was his agent hasn't made it to town yet. 2 days later, he cleaned up those comments. And he said, what I meant was I just haven't had a chance to sit down with the agent yet. So now the agent is in town. Johnny, I just have a feeling, I don't think this is the type of thing that we want to let linger. And I just have the feeling something's telling me in the next week or so, we're going to get some news on a Wilf Zaha contract extension being locked up. What do you think?
I have no inside information. So
no, I have no inside info at all. No,
I'm not saying you do.
Yeah,
you asked me. You asked me.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you do, but you asked me, and I'm saying I don't know. When I hear you give your opinion, I think to myself, man, that makes a lot of sense. And you start thinking about what the calendar looks like. If Zaha locks in a new deal now until the end of the season, what does that do? It allows him to play his football confidently, play to try to make the Ivory Coast team,
Yep.
feature in the World Cup this summer, and then have a place to land afterwards, guaranteed for training and the continuation of his career. Like that's actually like if you're somebody like Wilfred Zaha, who's a family man that is thinking about his long-term future, not just as a footballer, but beyond his footballing years, like that type of stability in what has been a pretty unstable 4 years or so in his career. Going out to Galatasaray, leaving Crystal Palace. Basically, his time in the Premier League came to an end. And after that, he's been bouncing around. This is an opportunity to maybe to sign for the rest of the season. I'll give you my prediction. Whether I think he signs or not, I don't know. But if he does, I think it'll be guaranteed through the end of the year with an option for next year. I'd be surprised if he signs on for next year. If he does, Zoran Krneta, I'm going to give you a Paul Hollywood handshake.
Oh my gosh, it's been way too long since I watched British Baking Show, so I can't follow that up with like an equally clever reference, but I definitely salute that one. Love a Paul Hollywood handshake. Yeah, that's beautiful. I no inside info. It's call it a hunch, call it feeling like if not now, when. And I'm just like, what I'm coming at it from a perspective of the closer we get to the deadline, the less likely it is to happen. So I just feel like this is something they need to announce here, before the calendar turns to April, certainly. So it's like, let's get it done this week. And I'm just trying to read tea leaves based on this Krneta quote, like I said, of his representatives were not around and one of them arrived today. He said that the other day. So I'm hoping,
Danny, I think something that we know is if Carol's on the case.
Yeah, exactly.
If Carol's starting to cover the story,
yes,
then something is up.
Yep. Agreed. I'd like to see it happen. I'm loving Wilf. I'm loving year 2 of the Wilf Zaha experience so far.
Me too.
And I'll never ever. I'll probably someday I'm going to be like an old man. Hopefully, God willing. God blessing me, an old man, having lived a full life, having achieved so many of the things that I wanted to with my life, Johnny, and also having made a perfect, serene peace with the things that I was not able to achieve in my life. And I'll be pondering, things that have happened and where it all went well and where it all went wrong, and what messages I may want to pass on to the next generation. I'll call my loving family to my bedside and I'll say, family, You've served me so well, and I just want you to remember there was no fucking way Wilf Zaha should have let himself get that red card against Philadelphia so that he would be suspended for the first home match against NYC in 2025. It shouldn't have happened.
The Crown was going to win MLS Cup that year.
we were
easily going to win the worst trophy, the first trophy that. I'll never forget that. And it's one of those things that, yeah, sure, we know about it. We talk about it. We joke about it. We're not going to pretend like it didn't exist. He's got 3 cards in 3 games.
Yeah, right.
Well, I don't want to. Don't piss on me and tell me it's raining.
Right, exactly.
Okay, I know it's happening right in front of us. Discipline's an issue. Let's get it cleaned up. Let's get the cards cleaned up, and let's continue the season.
The excuse or the reason given is always, I'm passionate. Congratulations. We're all passionate about something. Don't get fucking yellow cards. Thank you very much.
I've really enjoyed the chat tonight, by the way.
Yeah.
And football edits hits a topic.
Breaking news.
We have to discuss this. Because it's news today. We're at the end of the stream, and and Football Edits has brought it up. So let's discuss it head on. Derek Jones, basically former Charlotte FC midfielder,
Midfield destroyer.
Midfield destroyer.
as he was affectionately referred to many times on this program.
He has been handed out he's been given a lifetime ban.
Nothing big, just a little lifetime ban for you. Amazing.
A lifetime ban from MLS for betting, I guess, on MLS. While
he was betting, get this, he was betting on himself to get yellow cards.
Oh no!
And then he would go in and just get a yellow card. And call his bookie and be like, "Fuck you, pay me."
Unreal. Wow.
Unreal. So funny. That's the danger of the prop market, Johnny. And I'm not gonna
Here,
lie.
Danny, I'm bringing this on the screen because in real time I'm looking at this.
I love it.
Lifetime suspensions for Derek Jones, our friends at ESPN. We love ESPN.
I'm a big fan.
Lizzie.
I'm a big fan.
Lizzie. She basically tells us here, she reports on this story and it says, quote, after reviewing the results of the investigation, MLS concluded that the players engaged in extensive gambling on soccer, including on their own teams during the 2024 and 2025 seasons. Derek Jones was playing for Charlotte FC somewhere in that window. I'm fairly positive about that.
2024? Yeah, I think he might have been on the roster maybe and let go preseason. I don't double check that. Yeah,
well, maybe. I mean, these years fly together, so maybe not. But either way, in one instance, both players bet on Jones to draw a yellow card. There it is, during an October 19th, 2024 match. I mean, listen, I basically have to. Sorry, Dan. I don't know how I took us.
You're fine. You're good. We're back.
We're back. I don't know how the league basically finds all this information out. But what I will say is that this type of behavior is despicable.
Yeah, it is.
And I was a fan of Derek Jones, and I'm no longer a fan of Derek Jones. Now, if he wants to come out and say he's got an issue and this is an addiction and he's got a gambling problem, we're all here to help Derek Jones. But if this was some kind of one-off, try to get rich quick scheme, he doesn't bet on any other sports, then this is some dirty, despicable stuff.
Dirty Derek. Yeah. I'm leaning the ladder. Johnny, because when you have a gambling addiction spiraling out on you, that's when you start like betting on like the number of corner kick over-unders in the Croatian league. You know, when you want to like fraudulently steal a bunch of money from the gambling markets, you bet on yourself to get a yellow card, and then you go out there and kick everybody in the shins. You know, it's like absolutely ridiculous. So,
well, and from a bigger picture, this is not, this has happened in the NBA, in the new culture of gambling. Yeah. These are professional athletes that are being paid to play the game. Like the amount of greed that it takes and the amount of brassness it takes to try to pull something like that off is interesting. Let me go. I think I have the ability to look at what that game was. October 19th, 2024.
Crew versus Red Bulls.
Here we go. 3-2 win. And Derek Jones gets a 30 yellow card in the 35th minute.
Didn't take long. Didn't have to sweat that one too hard.
I mean,
I'm all for throwing a fiver, but yeah, we.
Best part is he Nashville was up two early goals from Nashville. Goal in the 2nd minute, goal in the 14th minute. Derek's like, well, I guess it's a good time to get my yellow now.
Yeah. Well, K-Dog points out, remember, I think 2024 was also the year, I wonder if he had a bet on this game when he came back and got that red card he like got like an instant red card for Columbus again early on at the match at BOA.
Yes.
And they were flying to start the season. It was kind of early in the year, and it sort of that like got our
Good
season
call
off to a
out.
pretty decent start.
Great
in
call out.
2024. So yeah, amazing. And everyone was suspicious of that. Everyone was like, Derek Jones, sleeper agent. Oh, DJ's still playing for Charlotte FC. Everyone, he went in and helped us win with the early red. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, not good. You can't, making light of it, I think is okay if it's just like these two idiots doing it. But what I think anybody that works in American sport or global sport needs to know is that like the integrity of the game means everything because it's a business at so many different levels. And think about it in a way that a financial company, if they're cheating the rules, what happens to them? They go to jail.
Depends how well they cheated and how much money they were able to save up to buy off the judge. But yeah,
I think I knew something was coming there from you, and you're not wrong.
Yeah. But yes, you're right. And again, like I think Johnny, you and I both feel that it's a huge difference, and it should be legal. Like to take a $5, throw a chance. Oh, I'm going to the match today, and I think this player's going to score. Let me throw 5 on him to score a goal and my team to win. It's very different than like that. There's nothing wrong with that on its face, but you get into where it has sort of slippery slope led to in the sporting culture of the country over the last couple of years, and just the oversaturation and the inability for anyone to even talk about sports without leaning into the gambling angle and things like that. And again, anybody that wants to talk gambling or gambling, more power to you, and it's fine. But I do think it's gotten to be like it's become too. It went from being a not having enough space in the conversation to having way too much.
Absolutely, that's what happens when something gets oversaturated.
Yeah,
everybody tries to hop on board. Speaking of hopping on board, it's been a great show. Thank you for all the people in the chat hanging out, watching this, chatting along with us. Doing the show live is really fun because it allows us to kind of pick some topics out of the chat and riff on those as well, Danny.
Yeah, we got the Derek Jones news in. I was able to live create the I don't know her graphic in the middle of the show. It was great.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. Yeah, it's fun. We got kicked off the stream and brought back. My mic didn't work. I mean, it's been quite a stream, Johnny. I drank some bourbon. I drank a whole bourbon.
You did well.
3 cherries.
Did very well.
I wanted to bring up. I meant to say this when we were talking about the handball goal, Johnny, and I want to say this. And this is what I'm going to close on because. Yeah, I'm just a fool in love, I guess. What can I say? But Pep's goal was called off for a handball, and we hated it, and we thought this was a go-ahead goal. We thought this was such a moment. And the one thing, though, that VAR can't take away from you is that when a goal is scored by Charlotte FC in Bank of America Stadium or any stadium, what I like to do is I like to turn to that special someone sitting right next to me and just give a big old hug and a big old kiss. And whether the goal stood or not, I was still able to do that when that ball went in the back of the net. So we celebrate. We have a great time at Bank of America Stadium. And I celebrate goals whether they get chalked off by VAR or not. And in my mind, it was a beautiful, beautiful night and literally could not have been better whether Pep got his hat trick or had to be settled for the brace. I can't thank you enough for a great pre-party, John. We were hanging at Hot Fly. We were having a grand old time on the rooftop. All the people were showing up. Everyone who's like coming, like just by becoming a fan of this club, I've made so many friends and acquaintances and so many of those folks to see him for the first time here in 2026 on match day. Ahead of our march to the fortress. It was just a beautiful day, dude. It was a beautiful thing, a beautiful sight to see. And as we wrap up, my sentimental thoughts, people are just freaking ejecting from the live stream as we speak, as I start to wax poetic and get all sentimental here. But what can I say, Johnny? It was a beautiful day.
I have one request for the next time a goal is scored. I always appreciate the hug, but just on the cheek next time, Danny. Oh man, it's great to have the show back. I'm happy to be Soccer City this year because this is exactly that. Shout out to you if you're watching us now because Danny did a phenomenal job talking to some folks over at the Carolina Ascent. Philip Poole and Ava Cook. I'm a big fan of Philip Poole. I know you are as well. He's doing really nice things with that program, the Carolina Ascent, the women's team here in town, the USL Super League. Check out that podcast next. If you're hanging out on YouTube, make sure you check that out. Great work on that, Danny. Really, really did enjoy that. As somebody that hasn't had the opportunity to follow the ascent as closely as I'd like to. And then also talking to Kevin Egan, right? The Soccer City is just really. He's always been a resident, if you will.
Yeah. He's an alderman at this point. Yeah.
It's nice to have him back. So thanks for doing that content leading up to the big match, and it's been fun talking to you tonight. I'm looking forward to our next episode.
Request is in for another Apple MLS studio personality to join us this week. Won't blow up the spot because it hasn't been confirmed yet. So we'll see. Hopefully we'll get that going. I've reached out to our friends at the Battered Herons crew down in Miami. You know, we have a special relationship with our Miami podcasters, and might put something together for a collab for them later this week. The team press conferences are good. At least someone from the team is going to say something noteworthy this week in front of a microphone. We'll be here to cover it all, Johnny. And we're 5.5 really days away from Leo Messi circus coming to Charlotte and all that entails. And I don't really give a fuck about Leo Messi or Inter Miami or the greater good of MLS or what the international community thinks of Messi's World Cup preparations and how he can still do it at this age. I want to go get 3 points, and I want everyone that is wearing pink to cry their little eyes out and fly home sad and never come back here again. That's what I want.
I mean, I was into it until you told him never to come back. I mean, it's supposed to be nice here in Charlotte. We're supposed to welcome people to our community. But we'll see what happens. I agree with you at the end of the day. It's awesome to have Messi in this league. It's even better to beat him. So let's go out and take care of business on Saturday. And before we end the stream, what's our score prediction for this weekend's game? I'm going to say 2-2.
I'm going to say 4-4 match of the year in MLS.
Wow. I'll take a draw. I certainly will take a draw. All right. Well, I'll sign us off here, Danny. It's been great hanging with you. And Lad on Fire is not wrong, by the way. He says half the people in pink live here. So
they said what I said.
Yeah, he said what he said.
I fucking said what I fucking said.
So on the way out, I think ultimately on the way out, can we finish with that? Do you mind if we finish with the Dean Smith soundbite? Yes, I'd like to watch that one more time, and then we can end the stream on that. Just enjoy this. I'm telling you, this is just classic from Dean Smith, and it's so grateful that he's our manager, and this is what he's doing after a win.
I think it's very important. It's very important always win at home. So now we just keep working to win again.
You know, Pep was excellent tonight. He's energetic. He's one who's got high ceiling technical skills, and you saw that all today. And when he's on it, he's very difficult to play against. And tonight he was on it. And
I'm very happy for the 2 goals. It's true that the third one is almost there, but no, actually I saw that touching someone, but I didn't know who, so I didn't see it again, so I don't know how it was.
No. If the game's gone, if we're disallowing goals for that, the game's gone. I mean, the VAR guy must have a major in physics because I haven't seen any deviation. I haven't seen, if we're ruling goals out for that, then we should get rid of VAR because that nobody wants to see that disallowed.
A degree in physics, Danny. I got to get to work tonight. I got to go out and get my physics 101 and get to work, my friend.
Game's gone.
Good night, everybody. Cheers. It's for the crown, baby.